I told my girlfriend of 3 years that I can't imagine marrying her, not because I don't love her, I do, completely, more than I've ever loved anyone, but I've known since month 2 that we were never going to make it to the altar, and I kept that to myself for 3 years like an absolute coward, and now everything is on fire. Let me back up. Her name isn't important. What you need to know is that she is genuinely one of the best people I have ever met. Thoughtful, loyal, the kind of person who remembers your coffee order and your mom's birthday, and the name of your 3rd grade teacher you mentioned once in passing. Being loved by her felt like being taken care of in a way I didn't know I needed, but from basically the beginning, I could see the gap. She grew up in a tight-knit religious family, church every Sunday without exception, grace before every meal. Her parents have been married for 34 years and still hold hands in public. Her whole life is built around that foundation. Faith, family, roots, tradition. She wants 5 kids. She's serious about that number. She has names picked out. I grew up the opposite. My parents split when I was 9. I've moved 6 times since college. I don't own a couch. I'm not religious. I'm not close with my family, and the idea of 5 kids makes me feel like I need to sit down. I've never stayed anywhere long enough to build anything that looked like what she grew up in. We don't just have different lifestyles. We have different operating systems running completely different ideas of what a life is supposed to look like. And I knew that. I knew it early. But she was warm and she was funny, and being around her was the easiest thing I'd ever done. So I stayed. And every month I told myself I'd figure it out. That maybe I'd change. That maybe she'd soften on some things. That maybe love was enough to close a gap that wide. 3 years. I told myself that for 3 years. About a month ago, her cousin got engaged. Big announcement, lots of celebration, the whole thing. And something shifted in her after that. She started bringing up the future more. Not in a pressuring way, just casually. The way you talk about something you genuinely believe is coming. She'd say things like, when we have a place with a real yard, or I want to do this with our kids someday. Little comments. Easy and natural for her. Each one landed on me like a stone. Then last week, we're having dinner at home and she pulls out her phone. Her cousin had sent her photos from venue tours. She starts scrolling through them, laughing at the over-the-top ones, and she turns the screen toward me and says, "What do you think of outdoor ceremonies?" And I froze, not for a second, for long enough that she noticed. She put the phone down on the table, slowly, and she looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Not angry, not upset yet, just careful, like she was about to step onto ice she wasn't sure would hold. She said, "You do want to marry me someday, right?" I didn't answer fast enough. The silence did it. I watched her face change in real time. She said my name once, quiet, measured, and I knew she wasn't asking anymore. She was confirming something she'd just figured out on her own. I made a choice to stop lying by omission. I told her I loved her completely, and I wasn't walking that back, but that I had serious doubts about whether we were actually compatible long-term, that the things we disagreed on weren't small things, that I didn't know how 2 people build a life together when they want fundamentally different lives. She was very still while I talked. When I finished, she didn't cry. She didn't raise her voice. She just sat there for a moment and then said, "How long have you felt this way?" I told her the truth, since close to the beginning. She nodded slowly, like she was processing a math problem, not a relationship ending. Then she stood up, picked up her phone, and grabbed her keys from the counter. She looked at me one more time before she walked out and said very calmly, "So the last 3 years were what exactly?" And I had absolutely nothing. The door didn't slam. That was almost worse. She just left, and the apartment went completely quiet, and I sat at that dinner table for probably an hour not moving. She's been staying with her best friend since that night. She hasn't responded to my messages. I don't blame her. I've been replaying every moment I had a chance to be honest and chose comfort instead, and I don't have a single good answer for why I kept going. I loved her. I still do. But I let her build a future in her head that I never actually intended to be part of, and I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know what I'm looking for by posting this. Maybe just to say it out loud somewhere. Maybe because I need someone to tell me what kind of person does that to someone who loved them that well. I already know the answer. I just can't stop asking the question.